Today's first reading about those 7 men being called to serve with the apostles is one that's very special to deacons. So I would like to acknowledge all my brother deacons, especially Deacon Brad and Deacon David and Deacon Don. May I say they are reputable men filled with spirit and the wisdom. And along with Father Sonny and Father Ed, we're blessed through their ministry, and it's a privilege to minister with them. This first reading also brought back a memory from last fall of Mavis and myself on the Great Saints of Italy pilgrimage, touring many beautiful churches in Rome, specifically the Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls. Within this basilica, located very near the main altar and the tomb of St. Paul, is the chapel of St. Stephen, who, as we heard, was mentioned first among the 7 chosen to serve with the apostles. I may have missed this chapel and the statue of St. Stephen if Deacon David, who was along with Amy on this tour as well, would not have called it to my attention. He knew since St. Stephen is the patron of deacons that I would want to see it. Just think, if someone could potentially miss this beautiful statue on a side chapel that was in plain sight, what else might be missed? Could it be that in life, when there is so much beauty like there is in a basilica or throughout Rome, that maybe a person can get overstimulated, not knowing what to look at first, anticipating what's next rather than participating in the moment, potentially leading to missing something that is right in plain view. And this is not factoring in all that can be missed when there is stress, anxiety, and uncertainty of our lives. Now, maybe this is what was going on with the Apostle Philip in today's gospel. Could it be possible that someone who had been chosen to be close to Jesus, who had been with him for so long a time, was overwhelmed by all the joy, by the miracles, and all the stress that was taking place? Jesus is saying, I'm leaving you, I'm going to prepare a place. That they get so involved that they don't totally understand that was being said, or was able to recognize Jesus as who he is. Now, before we start thinking, come on, Philip, you were with Jesus all this time, eating with him, traveling with him, listening to and getting firsthand inside information on the meaning of his teachings and actions. Weren't you paying attention? Before we say that, let's put ourselves in his shoes. Like Philip, we are chosen to be followers of Jesus. And we spent a lot of time with Jesus, and we feel like we've done a decent job in listening to him and growing in our faith. We recognize Jesus as part of our daily lives and have seen plenty of works during our lifetimes that bolster our belief in him, leading us to put our trust in him and believe in his words and teachings. Yet, do we always act on these beliefs? Do we always understand what Jesus has said and done? Not just in Scripture, but in our daily lives. Or sometimes do we say, show us more. We want more proof, more evidence to base our faith upon. Like Philip, our call to follow Jesus is also a lifelong road of conversion, a road that connects us not only to those first apostles, but also to everyone who has gone before us and all that are with us now in faith. A road that leads us on the way of Christ, a journey of trust that will lead us to the joys of one of the dwelling places of the Father, a place that will lead us to the truth so that we all may be filled with spirit and wisdom, a route that will unite us with Jesus, who is life, leading us, whether we understand it or not, to what it is that our hearts are yearning for, to experience the joy and peace promised by Christ here and now. As we continue to answer our call, as we choose to believe, to choose to ask questions, to put our trust in and grow in relationship with Jesus, through our life experiences, may we imitate more closely his example and do great things, becoming preachers of the gospel, by how we live our lives? Will we always understand what is taking place or what's being asked of us in our lives? Will we always see that which is right in front of us? Doubtful. But like St. Philip, we can continue to learn, and we can do it together.